The West's desperation is clearly visible. After showering another $700 million of taxpayers' money on Ukraine, Washington and London may have already decided to let Kyiv use long-range missiles for strikes deep inside Russia. The Guardian reported on Wednesday that Britain has already given the green light to Ukraine for the use of Storm Shadow missiles. Earlier, no NATO country wanted Ukraine to use these long-range missiles to launch strikes inside Russia, which would further their claim that they are not directly involved in the conflict with Russia. But now, with their desperation flying high, they have officially ensured NATO's entry into the war. During his visit to Kyiv on September 11, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken gave the strongest hint yet about permitting Ukraine to use long-range ATACMS missiles against Russia. According to Guardian, the decision is understood to have already been made in private. Also, the US and UK are now blaming Iran for escalation. US Foreign Secretary David Lammy, who also visited Kyiv, alleged, "The escalator here is Putin. Putin has escalated with the shipment of missiles from Iran. We see a new axis of Russia, Iran and North Korea." So for these big-time hypocrites, Iran's missile trade with Russia is an escalation, but West's $200 billion aid to Ukraine is empowerment. With US and UK officially untying Ukraine's hands now, Kyiv is expected to target key locations, infrastructure, energy grids deep inside Russia. From the front lines, the NATO has suddenly dragged the war to Russian commoners. And this has angered Russian leader Vladimir Putin. Putin has previously warned NATO members to be aware of what they are playing with. It is being reported that Putin has also snubbed a phone call with US pseudo-president Joe Biden. Putin's spokesman Dmitry Peskov announced on September 11 that phone call between Biden and the Russian leader would not contribute to ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. He said, such a call could not put an end to it in any way, indicating that the war had reached a point where holding peace talks is never an option. In response to the long-range strike proposal, Putin is now expected to expedite changes to Russia's nuclear doctrine. On September 11, former Kremlin advisor Sergei Karaganov stressed that Russia's nuclear doctrine urgently needs to be revised. He termed the existing document woefully outdated and one that no longer serves as an effective deterrent. He suggested, the main goal of doctrine should be in convincing all current and future enemies that Russia is ready to use nuclear weapons. The following comments made by Russian President Vladimir Putin in June that nuclear doctrine was a living instrument that could change depending on world events. The existing nuclear doctrine issued by Putin in 2020 says Russia may use nuclear weapons in an event of a nuclear attack by an enemy or a conventional attack that threatens the existence of the state. Some hawks in the Russian military were not happy with this and called for lowering the threshold for nuclear use in order to sober up Russia's enemies in West. But Putin never wanted to use the nuclear card in his battlefield, given the number of potential deaths it can cause, specifically for innocent civilians. Even in June this year, Putin said that Moscow has no reason to even think about using nuclear weapons, calling on Russian officials not to even touch upon the subject. But now, when NATO itself has directly put the lives of ordinary Russians in danger, Putin won't pull back his punches and shy away from giving it back.